So one of my favorite uploads in the past year has been my video on Lo-Fi Girl. It felt good to make something devoid of dirty, piping hot leaf water, not a single mention of a gnome or a nonce or a millionaire or racist or transphobe to be found. It's good to know that you can actually walk through your life without having to mention any of those things, wouldn't you agree? I'm glad we're on the same page. So yeah, today I'm going to be looking back on how I initially came across this beautiful world of DIY artistry in the first place. I'm going to pass things off once again to my dear buddy Biodegradable for the visuals. Let's get on with the show. I say lo-fi, you say hip-hop. Smooth jazz, soul, or R&B cut up and augmented into a hypnotically repetitive beat. It's a cultural institution at this point, with its monolithic brands and their imitators pervading through the internet as an overwhelmingly popular staple for Zoomers and millennials alike. I've certainly come to accept and appreciate its role in modern pop culture, using it to add some color to the lulls in my own life. But to quote David Byrne, well, how did I get here? As highlighted in past videos, I'm a filthy, invalid neo-boomer who likes dad rock and other dead people music. How in the tit would someone like me finally come around to boom bop or any of its offspring? The answer, though it probably won't shock a lot of you, still makes me cringe so far into myself that I cease to exist.
Oh, that's it. I've had it with this dump. We got no food, we got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off!
I live in a constant state of fear and misery. Do you miss me anymore?
This dumbass song about pussy and killing yourself made me like hip-hop. No, I'm not kidding. Pink Guy's raps on Filthy Frank TV, which I came across by way of the rest of the Cancer Squad, planted a seed in my mushy 22-year-old brain that would slowly blossom into the more open-minded music fan before you today. I had gotten snippets of Wu-Tang and such beforehand from much more hip friends of mine, but this was the closest thing to classic boombox jams that had really stuck to my brain.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is karaoke night. The only night that requires someone to hold me tight.
It wasn't the only thing, of course. I have to give an honorable mention to H3H3 for giving me some exposure to Biggie in their early reaction videos, as well as this goofy-ass dance to Fat Lip that led me to check out that album in its entirety. But, you know, we can't talk about them anymore because they're rich and cringe and the primary cause of every bad thing that happens on the internet, and anyone who says otherwise is a cloudy social justice-brained hypocrite simp who just hates free speech and comedy. Sorry. I said I wasn't gonna do that, didn't I? But it was also around the same time that my friend Jeff introduced me to some modern rap by Drake, Kanye, and J. Cole. 2014 for Still Drive became something of a soundtrack for the fall of 2016, giving me the frames of reference I would need to explore the genres of hip-hop and rap going forward.
Free from pain, free from scars, free to sing, free from bars, free...
But back to Papa Franco. These homegrown, down and dirty music videos, steeped in meme culture and now iconic mid-2010s stupidity, were the closest thing to that swaggering, materialistic hip-hop all the kids around me grew up on that I came to like myself. The aesthetic and MO of the channel overall appealed to me for reasons that could make up its own video, but the bottom line was this weird dude in a morph suit was using production knowledge he taught himself as a kid to crank out catchy, satirical songs that amassed such a following that when he finally dropped an entire album of the stuff, it broke the fucking internet.
That's why I fucked your fat girlfriend, you fucking nerd!
But she's so nice, but she's so nice, but she's so nice.
Now don't get things twisted. Enough people blow smoke up the ass of the good old days of YouTube, the old YouTube that nobody can channel anymore. Herp-de-dur, no say slur, is the end time, so here are my doom rhymes. My boomer-ass rocking chair is okay, cause it says gamer on it, sarsaparilla! But beneath the vomit-encrusted exterior of this channel was a soul, a meaty core that allowed Frank, Pink Guy, and company to do what they did in the first place. It's Joji time, bitch. Dude puts out chart-topping records now, but once upon a time, Joji was the underground side project where GeorgeMiller got to make the real music he always wanted to make. Late tracks from this unreleased Chloe Burbank album, as well as his transitional EP, In Tongues, feature some definitive lo-fi. They stitch inspired samples and pleasant textures into haunting, sad boy jingles. These homespun yarns of heartbreak and angst expanded my own personal definition of emo, swapping the beanie-clad dork's electric guitar with drum pads and a copy of Logic Pro. Likely pirated. What made them truly distinct was an undercurrent of Eastern influences. Joji's Japanese heritage informs a lot of his sounds from this period, fueled by nostalgia for childhood atmosphere and noises.
It's a connection to the music that I want to make and the sounds that I want to hear.
Me and my neighbor friends, every weekend, we'd knock on their doors and be like, hey, like, let's go catch some frogs. And then, just a bunch of kids in the rice fields, like, scooping up frogs and stuff. Best shit ever.
I had 2 friends that we always made music together. One day, I think we were in like 6th grade or something, someone steps in and is just like, wait, these are actual songs. And we're like, what? Like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, like, it's not easy to make a song. Through that, like, just through fucking around, we learned how to produce, how to, just train our voices, and just kind of learn from the internet what was popping all throughout then, because that was when the internet was starting to kick off. I love the lo-fi sound. In like middle school, early high school, I was into old school like boom bap with kind of that lo-fi sound, and because I wanted to hear more of that sound mixed with modern stuff, I started getting into lo-fi modern hip-hop and beats on SoundCloud, which really kind of opened the door for me. Also, I like to keep the instrumentals very, very textural, like whether it's water trickling or something. I just want to make sure that the instrumental is packed and full with just sounds that make you feel good, or make you feel nostalgic.
This is some ripe bait for modern young adult malaise, working within the framework of classic 80s and 90s song structures without denying your nerdy, net-savvy roots. These early tracks, coupled with the less memed-up work done under the Pink Guy moniker, allowed Joji to crystallize as a contemporary artist, and gave him the sonic palette and thematic tools needed to break into the mainstream.
There's a song called You Suck Charlie that I did.
1, 2, 3, 4.
My logic behind that was, so I sampled a Charlie Brown Christmas special song. I thought that song was special because for a lot of people, when they hear Christmas or think about like the holidays, they get lonely and horny. So I took that song, which everyone low-key knows, like it's a song that like maybe you can't like really pinpoint it, but it's Christmassy and it's jazzy. That song makes people kind of horny. There's a lot of unreleased stuff because like there's stuff from like 7 years ago. So there's stuff from high school that I listen to and it's like good enough to maybe put out as like a 30-second thing, but like it can never evolve into something greater. But obviously I'm not gonna put those to waste. Like I'll either save those for like maybe one day I'd like to release a little mixtape of all the beats and things that I've put together. But once I reach the level, of course. I can't just do that now and be like, check me out.
I'll always be indebted to George for guiding me through the evolving pop cultural landscape with his comedy, music, and overall artistic sensibility. The fact that his process to this day often comes back to sitting in the middle of a room with a MacBook and MIDI keyboard is sometimes the only inspiration I need to get off my ass and start making something again. Of course, I probably won't be cycling through Family Guy like he supposedly does, but nobody's process is 100% the same, as will be made clear moving forward in the series I'm dubbing Lords of Lo-Fi. Stay tuned, because in the next installment, I'll be covering similar ground with a dude whose work made a similar impact on this modern trend of grainy instrumentals to do shit to. Special thanks again to Bio for doing the visuals on this jaunt, and as usual, be sure to subscribe if this did anything for you. Peace, y'all.
And I watch Family Guy over and over again. I don't know why. I just can't stop. I know a lot of people will resort to like drugs and stuff, but sometimes Family Guy is just more helpful for me.